NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 is the night before SummerSlam. There's only one match on the card, so let's get to that as quickly as we can. The NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler, will defend against Kairi Hojo in a Mae Young Classic rematch. Of course, this was the finals of last year's Mae Young Classic. Kairi won that, and they seemed to have a rematch a couple months after that, and Shayna won that. So this is the rubber match for the championship at one of the biggest events in NXT's history. Brooklyn has always been a great show to showcase the best that we have, to have the best matches possible, because you're going into a Big Four event, and Brooklyn has been one of the better events for NXT. And of course, speaking of Mae Young Classic, there will be another one coming up. We don't know when exactly. They're probably shooting for October at the least. But we already know some of the competitors in that. But we'll get to that when we have the final field at least. But with NXT, and I say this every time, NXT is still technically developmental, even though it is a third brand. A lot of people think of it as its own company, but technically NXT is still developmental. And if you think about it this way, there's the Performance Center that is developmental technically, then NXT, which is the middle ground, and then of course the main roster. So it's hard to predict these because you never know who's going to be called up. So you have to base it around who you think will be called up. For example, this match. With Shayna, I don't know. Because there's so many women that should be champion in this division. For NXT, it's a stacked roster as it is. And of course, Kairi won a triple threat match last night on NXT. It also involved Candice LeRae and Nikki Cross. It also was going to involve Bianca Belair, but for some reason she was not in the match, so it was a triple threat. And Kairi won that in an incredible match. Probably a match of the year candidate. But I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. But I'm going to go with Kairi Sane just because it's the end of the feud, so they can put Shane on the main roster and team with Ronda or feud with Ronda or whatever. Put her on Raw against Ronda, and they can actually have an MMA type deal there if they really want to do that. I won't be surprised if Shayna retains, but I'm going to go with Kairi. And with that, Takeover Brooklyn is the night before SummerSlam. And there have been some spoilers about what is going to happen over the next few weeks, especially a title change. But we'll get to that when they actually happen, because I don't want to ruin the experience for some people.